When you say vineyards, you may imagine places like Rioja in Spain or Bordeaux in France. But there's a vineyard in North County Dublin, which Colm visited right at harvest time.
Here's something totally unexpected. An Irish wine, and it's grown and pressed here in Lusca in North County Dublin. North Dublin has a great history of horticulture and growing, and now they can add winemaking to the list. The first vines on this vineyard were planted in 2002, and the first wine released by this winery was in 2016. And it was a Merlot. I'm interested in learning more about this unusual story from fruit grower and vineyard owner David Llewellyn.
It all kind of grew out of, I suppose, kind of a lifelong interest in horticulture and particularly fruits.
And how long does it take for a vine to produce fruit?
After 3 or 4 years, you get a small crop, and after about 5 years, you have your, first real crop.
I am curious to find out what makes a good crop.
People say the wine is made in the field.
Okay.
You have to grow top quality grapes before you can make a good wine. This grape here, this is Rondo.
Okay.
And makes a lovely red wine, and it ripens every year for me here in Dublin. Sometimes a small crop, sometimes a bigger crop, but it ripens every year. I can make wine every year from it.
Are there many varieties that are suited to our climate?
Very few.
Very few.
Very few.
And you think...
I've experimented with loads of them over the years.
So you didn't start with Rondo?
No, I didn't start with Rondo. No, I started with about over a dozen different ones.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't even among my first selection.
So how do we know when's the optimum time to pick the grape?
I use a simple gadget, it's called a refractometer, and I can go around, I can pick a couple of berries, pick a sample of berries from around the vineyard, and all I need to do is squeeze a few drops from them onto this, and there's a reading of it, and it tells you basically how much sugar is in the grapes, how sweet they are, and that's the best indication of ripeness. Have a look through that there, you'll see what I mean. It's over 80 there, it's around 85 or so. Can you see that?
I can, yeah, all right. And that's a good reading?
That's 85 degrees Uxla, which is a particular scale. That's very good.
Okay,
that's
super.
Actually fantastic.
Where do they go to next?
Well, the next stage now, this is for red wine. You do a pulp fermentation where you don't squeeze the juice out of the grapes first. You ferment the whole pulp with the skins, the pips and everything for about a fortnight.
Okay.
And to extract all the flavors, the tannins, the color from the grapes.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. We start that after we've picked the crop.
All right.
And then in a fortnight's time, then we press kind of the finished wine and mature that in barrels then until it's ready.
And that's all done on site here?
Yep, nothing leaves until it's in a bottle.
Growing these grapes is a huge undertaking, and it's taken David years to find the right grape variety and to get his vines to this stage. And I'm interested to find out the flavour of this Rondo grape.
It's quite full-bodied as well, and it's actually, it's really unbelievable that a red wine like this is coming out of a vineyard in Ireland. It's got a lovely nose.
Very nice.
Like, it's a tiny quantity. I have literally a few hundred bottles of this.
Okay.
Even if I wanted to, I can't sell it in every wine shop in the country. Even if they wanted, they couldn't have it. We're talking tiny production here. Like micro boutique vineyard, really,
And I'm guessing that's representative of the overall wine industry in Ireland. It's not a big industry, I imagine.
I wouldn't call it an industry. It's a few vineyards, I mean, at the moment, my vineyard is the only one in production, with wine actually for sale that you can buy. There's no community of winemakers here. There's nobody in this country, virtually, really, that I can actually go and talk to as a fellow winemaker.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a bit lonely. It's an
interesting
challenge, but, I'd love to be able to sit down with another winemaker and compare notes and enjoy each other's wines and that kind of thing,
Absolutely, yeah. It's a really important part of horticulture, I think, that trade of knowledge and that sharing of knowledge. And it leads to innovation and new ideas. So fair play to you for persevering on your own for so long.